हेलो फ्रेंड्स, मैं हूं रौनक शर्मा। आप सबका दिल से स्वागत है। यहाँ हम पढ़ाई को सिंपल, इंटरेस्टिंग और एग्जाम फ्रेंडली बनाते हैं। तो बिना किसी देरी के चलिए शुरू करते हैं आज की एक्सप्लेनेशन। वेलकम टू दिस कंप्लीट मास्टर क्लास ऑन अ ट्रूली ब्यूटीफुल पीस ऑफ लिटरेचर, Canvas of Soil. Today, we're going to break down this poem so perfectly that you'll walk into your exam feeling completely confident and ready to score top marks.
Okay, let's dive into this. The entire foundation of this poem rests on a brilliant central metaphor, each plot a canvas wide. Before we look at any more lines, I want you to literally picture a simple, empty garden plot in your head, just plain brown soil. Now imagine a magnificent, completely blank canvas sitting on an artist's easel. The poet is hooking us immediately by comparing the everyday, mundane dirt of a garden to a grand artistic canvas. It's a real game changer for how you read this, and it's the lens through which we'll view the entire poem.
Now, if you're feeling any exam nerves at all, just take a deep breath. Here is our exact roadmap for today. We'll start with the core message, move through stanzas 1, 2, and 3, equip you with the key poetic devices, and then finish up with the final moral.
All right, Section 1, the core message. Let's understand the big picture.
Before we get lost in analyzing the exact words, we really need to understand the ultimate destination of the poem. Here are the main themes of Canvas of Soil. If you happen to get a long essay question on your exam, these are your absolute perfect foundation. The poem revolves around three major pillars. First, the pure beauty of nature. Second, an appreciation for the hard work of gardeners. And third, the overarching idea that nature itself is like a beautiful painting. If you can tie your answers back to these three core ideas, you'll show a super deep understanding of the text.
Moving on to Section 2, Stanza 1, the palette. This is all about preparing the canvas.
Think of this stanza as that quiet moment when a painter is just setting up their workstation and mixing their colors. Listen to the rhythm as we read it. Palette of earth, rich and deep, where dreams of gardeners sleep. Brushstrokes of seeds, planted true, awaiting spring's vibrant hue. See how the pacing is slow, deliberate, and full of anticipation? It perfectly matches that feeling of seeds just resting quietly under the earth.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how we can translate this beautiful poetry directly into simple exam-ready meaning. Palette of earth simply means the rich, fertile soil acts exactly like a painter's color palette. When the poet says dreams sleep, they're talking about the hidden hopes of the gardener that are literally buried in that soil. Brushstrokes of seeds means the seeds are planted as carefully as an artist applies paint with a fine brush, and they're all just waiting to grow, anticipating the bright colors or spring's hue to finally arrive.
So into Section 3 we go. Stanza 2, the artwork. The canvas comes alive.
Okay, so we've prepped our palette, we've planted our seeds, and now we get to see the spectacular transformation into a vibrant masterpiece. Notice the huge shift in energy here. Blossoms bloom, a painted sight, dancing in the morning light, shades of green, red, and blue, nature's artwork ever new. It's punchy, right? It's upbeat, and it beautifully reflects that bright morning light and the sudden, crazy explosion of color in the garden.
Let's break down this masterpiece line by line for your notes. Blossoms bloom translates directly to the flowers opening up and looking exactly like a painted sight. When they're dancing in the morning light, the poet just means the flowers are moving gently in the morning breeze. The shades of green, red, and blue show us that the garden is full of many beautiful, diverse colors. Ultimately, all of this comes together to confirm the very last line, that nature is creating a fresh, beautiful artwork every single day.
Which brings us to Section 4, Stanza 3, the artist, the hands that create.
Now, the first two stanzas focused purely on the painting itself, but this final stanza shifts the spotlight over to the unsung hero who actually creates the art. Each plot a canvas wide, where art and life coincide. In the hands of those who till, gardens become paintings still. It draws our attention so warmly to how the concept of art and the raw reality of life finally blend together.
Let's look at the simple meaning here. Like we established, every piece of land is a large canvas. Art and life coincide means that the beauty of a painting and the gritty reality of nature come together right there in the dirt. But pay special attention to the phrase, those who till. This is crucial. It directly refers to the hard-working gardeners who dig and prepare the soil. It is exclusively because of their hard work that empty land transforms into living art, where gardens become beautiful paintings.
All right, Section 5, key poetic devices. Think of these as your ultimate exam tools.
So, the crucial point is, understanding the meaning of the poem is great, but knowing the technical tools the poet used, that is what will truly score you maximum points.
The first and most important tool is the metaphor, which is just a direct comparison between two things. As we discussed right at the start, the primary metaphor of this entire poem is comparing the garden to a painting. The poet leans heavily into this painter analogy by calling the soil a palette and the seeds brush strokes. You absolutely have to mention each plot a canvas wide when writing about the metaphor in this text.
And this brilliantly illustrates our next device, personification. This is when you give human qualities to non-human things. You see, the poet doesn't just say the seeds are in the ground. They say the dreams of gardeners sleep, giving human actions to intangible dreams. Later, the blossoms are described as dancing in the morning light. Now, flowers don't literally dance, do they? But this human quality brings the garden to vibrant, exciting life.
Next, we have imagery, which is using words to create beautiful, vivid mental pictures. I want you to close your eyes just for a second. When I say shades of green, red, and blue, you don't just hear the words, your brain automatically paints those bright, vibrant colors right in your mind. That is imagery working perfectly in a very practical way.
Now let's look at alliteration. That's the repetition of the same beginning sound in nearby words. Listen, spotting alliteration is quite literally one of the absolute easiest ways to grab quick marks on short answer questions. In this poem, look for the repeating P sound in palette of earth and the repeating B sound in brush strokes of seeds. It just gives the poem this wonderful musical rhythmic quality.
We wrap up our poetic devices with symbolism, which is using a thing or an idea to represent something entirely different. In Canvas of Soil, the season of spring isn't just about the weather getting warmer. Spring actually symbolizes the new life and the profound hope hidden inside those tiny, carefully planted seeds. Finally, Section 6, the final moral. Let's talk about what we actually learned from all this. Remember, a truly strong essay always ends by mentioning the moral of the poem. It proves to the examiner that you actually understood the lesson. And the moral of Canvas of Soil is beautifully straightforward. Hard work, patience, and care can create something beautiful, just like a gardener creates a colorful garden. I really want you to think about that. The gardener's patience in tending to unseen seeds, it's exactly like your patience as a student right now. You are putting in the hard work and studying today, trusting that it's all going to bloom into a fantastic exam result tomorrow.
As we wrap up this explanation, I want to leave you with one final inspiring thought to take with you. How will your hard work create a beautiful canvas today? Every single hour you study, every note you take is a brushstroke on your very own canvas. Keep planting those seeds of knowledge, stay patient, and I guarantee your results will bloom beautifully. Thank you so much for joining me for this masterclass. Keep learning, keep growing, and I'll see you next time.